Hey, YouTube's Welcome to Developments, my 463rd weekly update. And as you see, I am wearing a different shirt this time. I'm not going to lie, I did almost grab the OSG blue once again, but I resisted, and instead I wore my Kratos shirt. I don't think, if I'm feeling right, this is not one of my custom ones that has my last name on it, and that is totally fine. I love all my Kratos shirts. This one's quite comfortable. They're all very comfortable, actually. Yeah. Kratos Strength Equipment. Check him out. Good guy. Good company. Just overall. Anyway, training this week was a little up and down, man. A little up and down. I would say mostly up. It was one of those weeks where a lot of stuff felt really rough. Just pushing it, and pushing it, and pushing it, and knew a deload was needed. And the beginning of the week was the last kind of heavy day I wanted to have, and it worked out. Heavy day on squats, but and it might not seem like much, but because at one point, feels like a really long time ago now, but it wasn't all that long ago. God, I think maybe 4 years ago, squatting 315 for reps was nothing. But working my way back up to that has taken a good bit of work. Changing my stance a little bit, moving to high bar, and things like that. Focusing on certain cues I was kind of ignoring and just moving the weight, so to speak, was limiting me for a while. And then just sort of building up the strength in the right areas to squat the way I want to squat. It's taken a while. And finally, I'm back up to being able to squat 315 for reps. This week was just the fives. But honestly, after the second set, I really felt like I could have done it for. I feel like I could have gotten to maybe 10, honestly. As good as it was feeling on Friday or on Monday, it felt that way. But it was like, hey, that's not the protocol. The protocol is it's just do fives, and then let's do a single. That's about 10-ish% over that. Essentially, like squatting 315 for five means like my max is something like 365, I think, is what the math said. And I was like, yeah, but I don't want to go that heavy. So just do 335, and I'll be playing with that weight for a while. And then one of the things I do with my warm ups now is I really make it a priority to get some decent rep work with lighter weights and get to the point where 225 for 10 is nothing. That's what I want to get to. Right now it's like 225 for like 7 is nothing. Like I just don't even notice it anymore. I want to get to where that's nothing. And then eventually, 315 for 10 will be nothing. That's sort of the dream with squats, but squats and I have a weird relationship. But this week it treated me all right. Now that being said, it really took a toll on my body. Just because it was like the last heavy thing to do. My body's just totally worn out. Been feeling kind of like crap for a few days. So instead of going heavy on other stuff, I said, hey, let's deload on overhead a little bit. I don't remember exactly what we did. I think we did like 70% for triples, and the goal was make them look easy because they should be. I mean, 75%, 70% you should be able to do for like. Honestly, you should be able to do a lot of reps at 70%. It should not be a hard weight, and they were okay. It's good to have a training partner too because he's a good barometer for me. Like, okay, am I just being a bitch, or is he beat up as I am? And most of the time, he feels similarly to how I do, where it's like if I feel like just beat up, but hey, I can grind through it. He usually feels the same way, and sometimes it's like we both feel amazing, and it's like okay, let's go for it then if we both feel amazing. And this week we felt basically the same on everything. Where it's just like, oh, dude, this kind of sucks today. Like this whole week has kind of sucked. Um, so what we really did was we focused a lot on accessory stuff this week. I said, you know what? I came back in on Thursday, which is normally the day I deadlift, and I was like, you know what? My low back and hamstrings feel like I could deadlift, and it might even help them. But instead of deadlifting, let's just do everything but that specific hinge pattern. We'll work hamstrings, we'll work the low back, we'll work the upper back, we'll work grip a little bit. We'll do everything but an actual deadlift. And that's what we did. And we just hammered it hard, just touching little bits and pieces, just trying to give my low back a slight break because it's not injured. It's just super, super sore and tired. And then I'm like, man, I have to do a pour on Saturday, which I think it's only going to be about 300 pounds, so it's not going to take too much out of me, but it's still something. That little bit of work does take a little bit out of me. So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I need to let's dial it back. And we did the same thing on Tuesday, just really hammered accessories for triceps and shoulders. And then today, same story. I think our main move for the day, which we always treat Friday like an accessory slash secondary press day. Um, Not always, but it's one of the things we end up doing a lot of times. And that's what we did today. We did um, kind of a slightly modified dumbbell bench fly kind of hybrid. And I love doing it because every week lights up my chest pretty much up until the next Friday. And that has been the case for about a month now. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to keep doing those because having more chest is never a bad thing. And we did those, and we actually ended up doing some slightly inclined bench as well, dumbbell bench. Um, some shoulder work, a little bit of grip work too. Really trying to hammer grip lately. My grip's already good, but I want it to be even better. And I have some kind of weird, almost rock climbing goal grip feats I want to be able to do. Really want to be able to do a single finger pull up. I'm close. I can do two, like no problem. And I can do like a one arm pull up. Well, like a modified one where you grab the other hand. My arms just aren't strong enough for it. My hands totally are. My hands can hold on to my body. One can hold on, no problem. But two fingers, no problem. One finger, either middle or index, not quite there yet. So, gonna start training on working on that. It's one of those things where I have a goal for the show coming up, of course, but having kind of a secondary little goal that's not necessarily specific to performance in a show, it always seems to help me kind of stay on track because a lot of times it just keeps me in the gym more. And then I'm like, oh, you know what? Okay, we did some grip stuff. Let's do another shoulder thing or let's do another tricep thing. Why not? Like we can do it. Let's do it. That kind of thing. And yeah, so today was good. A lot of grip stuff. We have these really cool um, globe attachments on one of the pull-up bars, and I love using that to do grip work. And today was the first day we actually added weight, and because it's me, just threw a 45 on there because why not? And I don't really time myself too much, like week to week on that. I time myself just mentally counting um, the day of, and it's like, okay, set one, if I can do 25 to 30 seconds, I'm good. Set two, I want to keep it around there, and then by set three, it's like, all right, if I'm significantly, big, big dip in performance, it's like, okay, cool, I'm done. I don't want to burn the grip out 100%, just want to burn it enough to the point where it comes back a little bit stronger. But if you have globe attachments, I love them. I think they're awesome um, for grip work. Another grip feat, I would love to do the 45-pound hub pick. I would love to be able to do that. I can do like a 35. I can even do a 35 bumper plate flip and catch with both hands. I think I did a 45 once too. Wouldn't be able to do it with both hands, but honestly, that's the toughest part for me is that like throwing 90 pounds in the air and then flipping and trying to catch both. It's tough. It's tough to like decelerate because you have to throw it high enough to when you catch it, you have the time to slow it down. And that part's the tough part for me. But yeah, no, overall, a really good week. Looking forward to next week. Way less volume on squats, and the intensity shouldn't be crazy. It'll probably be somewhere around like my 85-ish% for like doubles, so that shouldn't be crazy intensity either. Probably going to continue. Um, Overhead is like slight deload. Probably what I'll end up doing is doing either EMOMs or what do you call those? Clusters, so I can keep the intensity a little bit higher without really, really burning myself out too much. Um, Might even just do singles with a particularly heavy weight, that kind of thing. And then like a back down set that's a little bit more attractive. Probably keep the deadlifts lighter. Um, I'll have to kind of play it by ear. I know Sunday is going to be like the only day I'm going to have this weekend to basically do nothing and actually recover a little bit. Um, so yeah, just going to play it a little bit by ear and just go from there. And yeah, I think the lesson of the week is there is utility in having a secondary goal to your main goals uh, that ironically can help keep you on track. So try to have a little mini goal, just a little victory that doesn't really mean anything to anybody except you. And if you don't, what's your excuse?